In this short guide, we'll be going over HWEI's abilities, builds, matchups, and more, so stay tuned to learn everything you need to know. HWEI is a versatile ranged mage with artillery, damage, utility, and control. He has tons to offer in his kit, and due to this he has a super high skill ceiling too. He is however fairly slow, and due to the endless amount of combos with his abilities, he's pretty damn difficult to learn. For matchups, HWEI works best into low range mages that he can outrange to come out on top easily, meaning he can bully them down and scale up for free. He struggles most though against aggressive assassins with tons of mobility who can dive on top of him to take him down easily, and also heavily outroam him at the same time. For synergies, HWEI basically works with anyone because of his incredibly versatile kit. But if you do want to get specific, anyone that can set up fights with AoE CC will allow HWEI to follow up easily with his insane AoE devastation. Now let's have a look at some items, and don't forget it's all about to change with season 2024, so make sure to check back with us with all the item changes when they go live. For now though, we'd recommend a standard artillery mage setup with Ludens for more burst and wave clear, or Liandry's for more sustained damage. After your mythic, you want to go for a Shadow Flame for some early penetration before rounding off your build with items like Death Cap and Void Staff. Don't forget about Zhonyas and Banshees if you want some defensive choices, or there's those other situational damage items too with Horizon Focus and Morellos. For runes, there's ones like Arcane Comet or Electrocute, but we've been seeing the best results with First Strike. Then you can jump into the Sorcery Tree for secondary runes with Mana Flow Band and Gathering Storm. For your skill order, we definitely max your Q for damage, then E for some CC and control before finishing off with your W. Now let's get on to the fun part and take a look at HWEI's abilities, and there's quite a few of them. First up, his passive marks enemy champions with 2 damaging abilities that will place his signature underneath them, which then detonates, dealing extra AoE damage. For his basic abilities, HWEI has 3 abilities for each one, so he can use QQ, QW and QE, WQ, WW and WE, and finally EQ, EW and EE. Each one of these initial casts has its own cooldown, so although there's lots of abilities, they can't all constantly be used at the same time. His Q spells are mostly for damage, his W spells are mostly for utility, and E spells are for control. So QQ is a fireball that deals damage, QW is an artillery bolt that deals more damage if enemies are CC'd or isolated, and QE is a path of AoE damage over time that slows. WQ creates a path that grants move speed to him and his allies. WW creates a pool that shields allies inside, and WE buffs HWEI to give his next 3 attacks and abilities bonus damage and mana replenishment. EQ is a line skill shot fear to the first enemy hit, EW sends an eye that reveals champions in an area and roots them after a delay, and EE sends jaws that deal magic damage but also pull enemies towards the center and slow them. Then you've also got HWEI's ultimate, which is a growing AoE ability that deals damage over time and slows before exploding to deal more magic damage. You can also use your R though to cancel your basic ability casts, for example using QR to reset your Q. During the lane phase, your QQ is good for poke and farming at the same time. Your QE is amazing to shove waves, and your QW deals some really nice damage if your enemy is isolated at the back. Don't forget, whilst you're poking and trading though, to always try and proc your passive too for some extra damage. You want to use your CC to set up ganks or to combine with your Q to land more poke, and you want to use any of your E's abilities to help here. Your EE is great if your enemy is stacking up in a huge wave, your EW can check brushes and root enemies inside, and your EQ is an ideal chain CC ability if there's no one else in the way. Aside from that, you can use your WE to add bonus damage and regen some mana, and if your allies are nearby, you've also got your WQ or WW. Once you do get your ultimate though, you now pack some serious extra damage and the ability to now nuke your enemy down. Try to make sure you land this one by combining it with your ECC and enjoy getting fed. In teamfights, it's your job to dish out as much damage as you can while staying alive at the same time. You want to be close enough to pump out all of your AoE destruction and utility whilst not getting caught out yourself. Try to land as much damage as you can from afar with your QW, keep buffing yourself up with your WE, and use your QQ to burst any enemies in front of you. The main thing really though here is looking to pop your full AoE combos. Landing your ultimate is obviously key. But then there's your QE mini rumble ultimate and then your EE, which grabs enemies together at the same time. So landing all of this AoE damage and CC will definitely win you the fight if your enemies are grouped up. Don't forget about your utility either though, as your WQ can speed up your allies when they engage, and you can also help peel with your AoE shield in your WW. Well, that wraps up our quick guide all about HWEI. Don't forget to check out some of the ability combos over on our site too before you go, and download our desktop app so you can stay ahead of the best builds for the next few weeks and as we head into season 2024. Good luck guys, and as always, take care.